everybody.
Hi.
They're very excited to see me. So this is my friend JT.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Does he look the same in person as he does on Instagram?
Yes. Yes.
That's cool. That's a good thing. It means I don't use too many filters.
That's true. You're not going Paris on him every time. Hello, Prime Minister.
Hi,
Mr.
Jessie.
Trudeau. The Right Honorable, like, what do I call you?
You can call me whatever you like. People go from Justin to the Right Honorable to JT to PM to...
Who calls you JT?
Friends of mine, but...
And so do I.
There you go.
Hello, JT. You can call me the Right Honorable Mrs. Crookshank.
There you go.
Did you want to try that?
I think I'll stick with Jessie.
Okay. So, while you've been busy running the country, I've been busy populating it. Can we just talk like mom to dad?
Sure.
Okay. You have 3 kids. I feel mom guilt just for leaving my kids to do this interview, and I'm interviewing the Prime Minister. Do you feel dad guilt?
Dad guilt? Every day. Every day. There is more I'd like to be doing. There is more I want to be with them. Over the course of the years, I've been able to bring them with me sometimes and include them, but it's never enough. And I know that because I was raised in a family where the dad was Prime Minister too, and you never
So
get enough time. So
annoying.
finding those moments is really important.
Yeah. Yesterday, my son pooped in the potty for the first time.
That is awesome. That is
Thank
awesome.
you.
Well done.
The thing is, I missed it because I was busy at work preparing for this interview. What is the last milestone you missed while you were at work?
I missed my 11-year-old's first date, where I wanted to be there when he came home, but Sophie had to handle the aftermath of that.
I'm sorry. Boys are dating at 11?
Well, not really. He has I shouldn't even be talking about this, poor Zap.
Tell us everything.
No, but his girlfriend is 12, and they went out for ice cream together, which was a big thing.
He likes older women, and you're okay with that.
Yeah.
So you're as involved as you can be.
As I can be.
While running a small country.
A fairly large country, actually.
Oh, right. Excuse me. Just fact checking. Do you have a dad bod?
I wouldn't know how to define that.
Would you like me to? It's like a portlier I've let myself go because I had kids.
I try to keep in shape.
Do you know who appreciates that? This woman. Have you seen this?
It was taken at a moment we were leaning in to kiss each other on the cheek, and the angle makes it look different than it actually is.
It really does.
Okay, well, watch this. Let's lean in for a kiss.
Okay, yeah.
Here we go. Just like that. Just this moment right here looks. Yeah, if the timing is off, and I'm Quebecer, I'll kiss on both cheeks, and that's just normal.
Okay.
We're greeting people. It's not
Just
a big deal.
greeting. No, it's not a big deal, but I am going to freeze frame that moment and make sure that it goes viral because this is a small Canadian internet show and we need all the help we can get.
You're doing very well, Jessie.
That's very kind, JT. As a politician, you have kissed a lot of babies. I don't think President Trump even kissed his own babies, and yet you have kissed thousands of strangers' babies.
I like babies.
You like babies a lot. Here you are just cradling.
Well, see, the thing is, when people hand me babies, there are, cameras, there are crowds, there are sometimes people shouting and stuff. The babies can get all worked up. So one of the first things I try to do is calm them down and do a little oy, just to chill them a little bit. But that's a young, like she's probably
She's fresh out of the womb.
Yeah, exactly. She's
She's
probably
still-
like a week or two old.
Oh,
almost.
yeah. There's placenta juice on her face, that's for sure. Okay, here you are, just holding a baby with one hand by its feet in the air above a crowd.
Yes. Well, that would be my baby. First of all, that's Hadrian.
Okay.
So this is something that my dad used to do. There's pictures of me with my dad doing that to me.
Is
But
this medically sound?
It is probably not recommended, but it is something that I've done to my kids, and
You sure
they have
have.
great balance.
And this?
Yeah. That's Hadrian as well.
Oh, good.
I wouldn't do that with a different strange child, but I would do that with my son.
So when a baby comes to you
Yes.
in a crowd,
Yes.
are you terrified that you're going to drop it?
No.
Have you ever said no to a baby?
Yes.
Why?
Because the parents were like tossing the kid, like holding the kid up, like sort of leaning. And I'm like, no, you hold your child properly. I'm not going to,
Oh, sorry, I
risk
didn't realize
taking them.
you were the expert on holding your child properly.
No, but when you're in a crowd and people are pushing and shoving and people are just sort of like launching their babies at me, I do need to be a little bit careful on that.
So you have said no if it's unsafe.
If it's unsafe, yes.
What if it's a really ugly baby?
There is no such thing as a really ugly baby.
Okay.
Nah.
What if it's an actively peeing baby?
I may point in a different direction.
What if it's a baby wearing a Conservative Party onesie?
I think that baby really needs a hug, and I will take them for sure.
Come on, you're not dropping that baby in the crowd?
Not a chance.
Fair enough. What are you being for Halloween?
We haven't thought about that yet. I'm focused on being Prime Minister again on the 21st of October, and then we'll take steps off of that.
I think we know what you're not being.
Indeed.
What is that?
Well, I actually believe I'm going to be handing out candy this year instead of getting dressed. I think that's probably for the best.
Obviously, I'm not a journalist. We're not making a hard-hitting television show. But how can you not know how many times you have dressed up in racist makeup?
I think one of the things that was very clear is that I didn't think of it as the wrong thing to do. Mm-hmm. And therefore, it wasn't something I said, oh my God, I'm gonna have to remember every time I do this, because it wasn't a big deal. Of course it was a big deal, but I didn't understand that at the time. I should have, but I genuinely didn't, which is why it didn't lock in as all these different times.
I just think well, if you can't name a number, that implies that it's your thing. You just did it so many times. That's like...
No, I think whether I did it once or 2 or 3 times or more, it is wrong, and there's no, I only did it once, that somehow would make it better. I hurt people. I hurt people that I didn't mean to, people who thought I consider me an ally, someone who fights against racism every day. I let them down, and I cause them pain when they are people who already live with discrimination too much in our society, and I have to do better, and I will.
And you're right, and it doesn't make a difference if it's 1 or 100 times, but it kind of does.
Well, it wasn't 100 times.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Between now and when this interview comes out, are other photos or videos going to surface?
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Okay.
We've done a lot on fighting racism and discrimination as a government, but I'm going to be doing even more. There's so much more to do on systemic discrimination, on unconscious bias, on having people understand how to be not just not racist, but anti-racists as well, which is something that we're going to work on.
Well, no, you have to.
And I will.
You have no choice.
And I take that as a responsibility because I hurt people.
I'm going to change gears. We talked about you being a working dad. So I am going to ask you hard-hitting policy questions while you hold a baby. Baby?
Awesome.
Oh, he's salivating.
Where did it go?
Oh my.
It's warm in here, but you're okay. There you go.
I'm sorry, my eggs just dropped. Did yours? All right, are you ready? Here's the deal. You have 10 seconds to answer each question. Here we go. What is more important, the environment or the economy?
The environment underpins everything we do in the economy. If we don't protect it, we can't have an economy.
Okay, so did you promise to plant 2 billion trees because you felt bad about buying a pipeline?
No, we're going to put all the profits from the pipeline into the transition towards cleaner energy.
Will you enforce a national ban on handguns?
We are making sure that we're banning assault weapons, and we're giving cities that want to and that need to the power to ban handguns.
Now, I want you to feed the baby while you answer the next question. The baby needs to be fed.
She needs to be woken up.
Okay.
No, she's
too comfortable. Yeah, there it is. Oh, she took your nipple.
Here we go.
It's always exciting when that happens.
Proper latch.
Please look at this baby and tell her, why are we selling arms to Saudi Arabia?
We are continuing to stand up for human rights.
Tell the baby.
We are strengthening arms control and transparency, and we are trying to do right by our international obligations. We have to figure out a way forward, and we're working on that.
Thank you for that excellent demonstration of work-life balance, everybody.
Sweetheart. It's okay.
Oh, now she's crying. Okay. I feel like The biggest question I get asked as a working mom is, well, if you're here, who's with your kids? Does anyone ever ask you that, like at the UN? And come on.
You don't ask a dad, right?
You never ask a
No,
dad.
and they should. And they should.
And they should. I'll be the first to ask you,
Well,
who is watching
my
you?
kids are now in school. They're all in an Ontario public school now, so that's.
Do you have a nanny sitch?
We did when they were younger. We have someone who helps out a little bit after school.
As you know, many Canadians can't afford to pay for a full-time nanny. So what are you going to do to help young families?
We've done a lot, but we know there's more to do. So we've actually announced we're going to double our money towards childcare from the federal side, specifically for before and after school care, because we heard so many parents that, school ends at 3:30, but workday ends at 5. They have to send kids into after-school programs. There needs to be more spaces for them. We've announced that for babies under 1, we're increasing the Canada Child Benefit up to $1,000 more over the course of a year, tax-free. That's going to help people.
So I have a baby, I get $1,000, just like that.
Yes, if depending on how well you're doing with this Instagram channel, we're helping the folks who need it, and we're not sending child benefit checks to millionaire families, because that was what the Conservatives did, and we think we put more in the money in the pockets of people who need them. Yeah,
that's great.
Everything we can do to help makes a big difference.
You came here with a full team. I also brought backup. Come in. Hi, come in, take a seat. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I want you to ask Mr. Prime Minister anything you want, and he has to answer honestly, because what kind of a monster lies to a child?
There you go.
All right, Grace.
Do you live in a mansion?
I live in a big house that is the house that the Prime Minister gets to live in. So yes, it would probably qualify as a mansion.
How much did it cost?
It is actually owned by the Government of Canada and by all Canadians.
He gets to live there for free. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, we have twins.
Twins here. Very exciting.
Soleil and Solara, do you want to stand up and ask a question?
Why did you paint your face brown?
Ooh. It was something I shouldn't have done because it hurt people. It's not something that you should do. And that is something that I learned. I didn't know it back then, but I know it now. And I'm sorry I hurt people.
But did you paint your nose and your hands brown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was the wrong thing to do. And I had a good conversation with my kids around taking responsibility for mistakes and making sure that we're always sticking up for each other and not teasing each other and being respectful towards each other. And I'm sorry that I hurt you as well. I'm sorry that I hurt kids who, get, face teasing and discrimination because of the color of their skin. That's just not right in this country or anywhere around the world. We all have to work together to make sure that it doesn't happen. Okay?
Thanks, guys. Okay, this is adorable Finley Jack.
Hello, Finley
Jack, you
Jack.
want to stand up and ask a question?
Where do babies come from?
They come from mummies. Oh, ultimately, originally.
This is very vague. The child is asking a very simple question, Mr. Prime Minister. Where do babies come from?
Babies come from mummies' bellies.
Does that satisfy you? That's a good enough answer for you?
Good enough answer.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any follow-ups? We're all feeling good?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
High fives.